Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, knock, knock, knock. Let's see what this cup has to say. What do these tea leaves have to say? Hopefully you all are doing well. We are on a Saturday night over here. Busy day. Just kind of getting settled down and ready to do some readings. Okay. Just want to hold this out a little bit. Okay, so I want to go ahead and start with a card. I think it will give more context to the reading in general. We have the Knight of Discs, or in other decks, this would be the King of Discs. Okay, so this is the fiery part of Earth. This is the person that is has availability to a lot of kind of natural resources, has some amount of mastery over their skill sets, and usually that is in the material world, so working with their hands, building things, engineering, just business in general. Somebody that is good at kind of building things, from not just building with their hands, but being able to maybe, start a business and build it up. Very committed to their work, to the path that they have set out on, willing to take their time and really put in a lot of energy, thought, planning, execution, this kind of thing, okay? But maybe not always a master of their emotions or interior life. This is somebody that is often very based in base reality, okay? They're very much concerned with the material world, okay? The physical world. So what I am seeing here, and it's interesting to see this kind of formation again. I think it was, it was either Leo or Virgo had a similar kind of formation, and it is it's a heart, but it has kind of, extra things sticking out of it. This one looks like it has a broken arrow going in here and coming out here with the arrowhead. But when you turn it, it also kind of looks like a bowl, okay? So this, to me, is all about having a really intense desire to seek out, to kind of consummate a love, right? There in a sense of really being very kind of so hyper focused on this recently, maybe even a bit bullheaded about it. Very, in some ways, very aggressive, Though I will say, I want to say, I don't necessarily see this as being a romantic kind of love. I don't think that you are aggressively pursuing somebody. But I feel that this is actually has more to do with your interest in kind of cultivating that interior space, but finding a place where you are meeting yourself and learning to love aspects of yourself that have been difficult for you. And maybe even things that you have not looked at for many years, if at all ever, right? I get the impression that you are coming to a point in your life where you have succeeded in a lot of the endeavors that you have set out to construct, to make money, to build your home, your family possibly. Just really this kind of physical, mundane life stuff that is very important, definitely. But you've built that foundation and you've actually built it up into your own little kingdom, right? You have really put in the work, probably many, many years of work. And though you haven't necessarily perfected everything, I also think that there is no perfection for you. There's always something that can be fixed or adjusted, tinkered with, okay? So I don't necessarily think that you feel that you are complete in these areas, but you have made a lot of headway, okay? You feel confident. But I think that for some reason, this feeling of really wanting to get in touch with yourself, I feel like it's like a want for self-development. Maybe even there has been some degree of feeling a bit I don't know, loss, or maybe questioning the meaning of things, a bit of existential crisis arising, anxieties just about maybe, you know, existential kinds of anxieties. Why do you exist? What does life mean? Why do I do the things that I do? You know, what is it going to, you know, it's just kind of a circle of why do we do these things? Is it going to mean anything at the end of it all? Right? Will I look back on my life and have, you know, fulfillment? Have I enjoyed myself? Have I made meaningful connections to others? You know, these kinds of questions. And so I think you have maybe started to really dabble in looking into forms of self-development, okay? Maybe religion, spirituality, therapy, self-help, kind of that, you know, sphere of thinking and systems and stuff. I mean, there's just, you know, I think that you have kind of thought about some of these things, but I believe that you have kind of been going about this journey by yourself. Okay. And I'm looking at in the middle here, there's kind of like, it reminds me of almost like an anglerfish. My daughter is obsessed with them right now. She brings them up at least once a day to me. And if you don't know what that is, it's a deep sea fish that has like a little kind of, it looks like a little fishing pole or something, it's right off of its head, and a little light that kind of blinks at the end of it, and it attracts in its prey, okay? But this one kind of looks like, it looks like a horse, kind of with this lantern coming out of its head, okay? And then I see a person kind of standing beneath the lantern and almost kind of basking in it, okay? So what this looks like to me is really this pursuit of some kind of illumination in your life. I really do think that this kind of introspection and trying to navigate these different zones of self-education, self-development, and spirituality that you have, I feel a sense of being a little bit lost, okay? Maybe not knowing exactly where to start, or not knowing where to find what you're really looking for, okay? There might not actually yet be an understanding of exactly what you want, or you have not the language yet to find the very specific kind of niche that you might be interested in, okay? And going about this on your own can be a lot, right? Especially if you have been so successful in other parts of your life, you're a very confident person, then you get into this area that is very, can be very ambiguous. It can have very highly kind of specific language or jargon, which is, you know, applicable to only certain, you know, these systems or schools of thought. It's a lot, okay? Especially if you don't have a lot of background in it. So I think that, excuse me, I'm gonna still dealing with this kind of coughing, almost coughing constantly. Excuse me. Okay. So what I think would be useful to you, and I wonder if, you know, there might be some pushback by you initially, not being interested in, kind of like I get the impression that maybe you're not really, like, you don't consider yourself like a joiner of things. Like, you want to do things on your own time, within your own parameters. You want to be the one kind of leading your own studies. And I think all of that is beneficial, definitely, and will help totally in your journey. But I wonder if having a sense of community and fellowship, kind of going out there, finding a few different kinds of maybe meetups, different religious services. You know, there are all kinds of different kinds of self-help retreats or lectures. I mean, especially if you live in any kind of major city, there are so many different avenues to kind of go down. So I think that it can be kind of a fun task. It's almost like being an explorer. I used to myself love to go to all kinds of different religious services. I felt almost, it wasn't like voyeuristic, but I just really, really enjoy seeing people in their grace, in a place where they feel that they are close to God, where they are among people that they relate to, and they can open themselves in this vulnerable way to worship together. And, you know, there are very few things, aside from maybe like, you know, people enjoying music or art or, you know, something like this, where you have moments of very, very stripped down exposures of humanity, where you really see kind of the core of the human condition and what we all kind of strive for. This love, this interior love, this love of the divine, this greater thing, however you conceive it, however you relate to it. It doesn't matter, but being able to get to a place, and in a place where you are held in a safety to kind of commune with the divine, right? That's a beautiful thing. It doesn't matter if, I mean, in my estimation, it doesn't matter if you share the tenets and the dogma and the, you know, beliefs or whatever. You know, I think that there's something beneath all of that, right? And it transcends all institutions and structures and you know, mythologies and whatever. But I think that, you know, when we are feeling like we don't know where to turn to kind of begin this journey or restart this journey or continue this journey in a way that feels like we are making some kind of progress forward or into, I think it's important to go to places where you feel other people are focused on these kinds of self-evolution, right? And it doesn't have to be religion. I'm just using this as an example. I mean, this could be any kind of retreat. You could be doing, you know, exercise, things like yoga or meditation. It could be you know, a dinner club, you know, I don't know. It could be group therapy of some kind. It could be, you know, just a group put together to go look at museums, you know. I know, like, for us, we have, like, community education field trips for adults. And I've had neighbors and stuff go do that. And they really enjoy it. And they feel connected with other people. And, you know, it gives them something to enjoy in life. And, you know, so I think that it's this situation that you were kind of, you know, getting into, these interests that you have, this desire that is arising, you can cast a wide net. So you're trying all kinds of things, like getting out of your comfort zone and just trying stuff, seeing what speaks to you. And I think that, and I'm just, I'm thinking it looks like a large mountain lion to me. I just feel like there's just such a fierceness in you, that doesn't seem super familiar, because you really are such a capable person. And I feel, and I don't, you know, I don't mean to be any kind of disparaging, because it's not. This is coming from a place of love. But I think that when you come up against something that you are not familiar with and does not come naturally to you, it feels like a failure. Okay, or at least like a part of yourself that you feel kind of ashamed of, right? But I think that, you know, sometimes to have this kind of challenge where we realize, okay, this maybe isn't the thing that I'm super good at. And listen, being a spiritual person, being a person who knows themselves, who is integrated, who is accepting and loving to themselves, that just is not something, I don't care who tells you that they just accept that and it happens for them, right? It's work like anything else. It's work like building a business. Sometimes it's harder, right? Because there's no prescribed method for any one person. It is all a composite experience for each of us. Okay. So I think it's important that we listen to this kind of beautiful beast that is coming up in you. Beast, not like like a beautiful primal animal that wants to be nourished and heard, okay? Something that is so beautiful and graceful and, just moves in such elegance. And it wants to be witnessed. It wants to be fed. It wants to be given its space within you. Okay. And so ultimately, I think going out and doing these different things, finding stuff that's just, go online and just, even if you do them online, I mean, I know on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever, there are so many different kinds of lecture series and live events and symposiums and all kinds of things that you can do. Like dip your toe, into the waters, test it out. And then if you find something that you like, go out and seek it further. Find the community that is going to be there for you. And you might not be a very social person. You might not be super extroverted, but sometimes it's okay to, just go out and listen. Be the person that sits there and just listens, takes it all in. Okay. What I can use, for example, for myself, for a variety of reasons, I was very resistant to going to like 12-step meetings. And when I started, for years really, I never said anything. I just didn't want to talk. I would have actual panic attacks. And I just listened. I listened to people. I just took in what was happening. I still had this kind of feeling that like, I'm not like these people. I'm just here because I need to be, And over time though, I softened and I realized like a lot of these people are my people, and we're all here for similar reasons, although our stories look different, right? But it was okay to just go and listen. Just get yourself there and listen. And so I feel, although, we're maybe not talking about addiction here, this could be applied to anything. Just get yourself somewhere and just listen if you feel like you're uncomfortable, because it will feed your journey. It will give you sustenance for your journey inward. Okay. And, you might surprise yourself. You might find some really interesting people. You might find, good friends. You might find a spouse. I know a lot of people do, when they get into these communities and stuff, they start to find, people that hear them, see them for the first time, in most of their lives. Okay, so we have like a lot of birds. I think that there's just a lot of thinking happening, a lot of bird formations. This one's kind of sitting, but I think that there's a lot of, different kinds of ideas of what you might like to do. And, that's the other thing. Maybe make like just kind of free association type of list, or what are those called? Like a mind map, the one with the little bubble and then the little things that come off of it, and just kind of figure out what are kind of your priorities right now with this. Think about like what maybe if this is like a spiritual thing, right? Or religious, kind of what deities speak to you. Where have you experienced things that have been moving to you? Have you ever known people or passively, witnessed people talking about or engaging in things that you found interesting? And then just kind of write those concepts down, those little things, and then, kind of compile a greater list of, what is moving you, what is speaking, what is showing itself to you, what is revealing itself to you. And that might be helpful to narrow down, like, where are you trying to go? I mean, there are just so many cool things out there. And I'm not, personally, I'm not affiliated with anything. I am not initiated into anything. I don't belong to any organized institution, at all. So I just am a great lover of of religion and philosophy and art and many things esoteric. So I really I'm always so intrigued with just how much is out there. And so this might be a really fun journey for you. I continue to learn every single day about new things and new groupings of people and new, just little concepts and things, and it amazes me. It really does. All right, let's see. So I'm seeing kind of these different, it seems like there are some really deep grooves of kind of thought patterns that I almost feel like you grew up around people that maybe had very powerful beliefs in things. Maybe a bit dogmatic to some degree, but didn't make you feel, or at least in your experience, kind of got the indication that maybe diverging from these specific belief systems or ways of engaging your faith, if they varied from these like very prescribed ways that they were not allowed or they were looked down upon. And I think it kind of left almost like a it left a deep kind of impression on you. And I think maybe this is why it has taken you probably many years to start to begin to explore these things freely. And I almost wonder if you kind of feel like this is a very personal journey for you. You don't feel necessarily super comfortable being outward about it, which is okay, right? A lot of people are very personal about their beliefs or their, you know, just their spiritual journey. And so I think that maybe this is part of what's going on here. It could even be like an element of like guilt, you know, for having this interest, because you were kind of maybe just so turned off from any kind of religious beliefs or anything kind of in that orbit. But I think it's not uncommon, like as we get older, you know, you've lived and you've experienced different things, and you know, I think that like when that existential stuff really hits, it really can be so powerful, and we have to kind of find some meaning beyond just the regular tasks that we have. So I think, you know, I think all of this is going to be okay. I think that you were in for some really interesting experiences. And I think especially depending on where you live, I mean, that you might have the ability to experience some very, very varied things. So I'm trying not to cough here. So I'm excited for you, and I know it's not easy to get going, always, and it's not easy, especially if you don't feel super comfortable, you know, talking about it with the people who are like close to you or anybody at all. But I honestly think that this is such a worthy endeavor. Okay, especially. I think what makes it kind of easier for some people is to look at it like you're like a citizen anthropologist or something, right? And so you are kind of digging into different people's different ways of living and different ways of experiencing spirituality and God and goddesses and whatever in their many forms. And you know, until you kind of find what you're like really touches you in that like that way, right? That really, you know, that thing that really like just gets you. It's okay to kind of be a little detached from it. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you know, you don't, not everybody will tell you that, but I think that it's, you know, sometimes that's just how we have to go about things, and that's all right. You know, as long as we are honoring others and being respectful and, you know, being safe and all these kinds of things. Okay, Libra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the time that we spend together. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, and I am slowly but steadily building up the channel and the community, and yeah, it's been really such an amazing thing, and you know, I just appreciate each person. And so if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next video comes out. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, please let me know what's going on with you. What are you thinking about? What's resonating with you in these readings? All of that stuff. All right. Thank you, Libra. We will talk again in 7 days.